from Moscow today. They're not happy.
Morgan arrived early.
They're not interested in excuses. They want results. No matter what, Jason Morgan has to die. No more hostages. I refuse. You've attracted far too much attention from law enforcement.
The locals will still be a problem.
Well, then we'll solve it.
Gentlemen, Miss Donald. Fortuitous I should run into you. Saves me the trouble of a subpoena.
It's dangerous here at night. What are you doing out running around?
I was going to ask you the very same thing. Actually, I have quite a few questions for you.
Well, I'm afraid now is not a good time.
Oh, all right. The subpoena it is.
In connection with what?
You're being characterized as a person of interest, which covers a lot of area these days. Basically, because of the carnage left at the Roadhouse. Murder, conspiracy, that sort of thing. So you can have this discussion with me here, or we can have it at the office. It is entirely your choice.
Chose to answer your questions. Nothing I say will be admissible in court. You know that.
Good point. So let's call this a preliminary interview. You're actively promoting the establishment of a Russian criminal syndicate right here in Port Charles.
My client was tragically murdered. I am simply looking out for his business interests.
What kind of business are you talking about?
It's all a matter of public record, but I'd be happy to show you the paperwork.
What dummy corporation owns the Roadhouse?
Why do you ask?
It blew up. I think you know that. With a little boy inside. I think you know that too.
I didn't at the time.
So the name Jake Spencer means nothing to you?
His mother confronted me in the hospital. I decided not to engage out of respect for her grief. But I hear that her child survived. Please send my regards to his mother.
You need to ask your colleagues to give me some more.
It was your idea to ask questions in a dangerous part of town, Miss Davis. My associates are simply doing their job.
I understand that you're not from this country, so let me explain. It is frowned upon to threaten a district attorney here in America.
You're in a difficult position as district attorney, aren't you? But lawyer to lawyer, certainly woman to woman, I understand why you're harassing me. You're desperately trying to deflect attention from your lover, who has disappeared, and your daughter, who most unfortunately has not. That Sam McCall is your daughter, and you were less than discreet in your affair with Jerry Jacks.
Again, you need to tell your friends here that they need to give me some room.
It must have been incredibly awkward for you when Jerry's boat exploded in the harbor. How did you explain all the cash and drugs?
We have reason to believe the drugs came from Karpov.
Well, then Jerry must have been transporting them.
I would imagine you know all about that. You might even be responsible for his death.
Anybody could have killed Jerry Jacks, including your daughter. You know, come to think of it, wasn't she arrested for possession of stolen pharmaceuticals? And weren't they found in her home?
No need to worry about that. The charges were dropped.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Family is family. But it must be incredibly inconvenient for you to have a drug-smuggling slut for a daughter.
Apparently you didn't hear me. You tell your thugs to back the hell off, or I push the button, releasing the text directly to the police department, telling them where you're located at this minute. It's your choice. They'll be here in 2 minutes. When I find the evidence, and I will prosecute you.
No one appreciates a threat, as you well know.
I understand that you're afraid. Your syndicate has left you alone here in Port Charles, stranded, and you're afraid for your life. Or you'd be gone by now.
That's absurd.
My strong advice to you is to leave town and take your little friends with you. Or be ready to go to prison.
Get teams to Pier 23 immediately. We have to get the shipment landed before Jason Morgan interferes. Jason, pick up. open thorn in my side, Miss McCall. It's time to extract you. You've always struck me as a really smart woman. Why don't you do the right thing? You need to let me go. You got to get back into your scary black van, head to the Canadian border, get on the first flight to Russia or Switzerland, wherever it is you came from. Why would I take such a convoluted trip if the simpler solution would be just to eliminate you? Because if I show up dead, Jason Morgan will retaliate. Oh, you know, I hate to disabuse you of such a obviously fondly held notion, but Jason Morgan is desperately fighting to hold on to his territory. He doesn't have time to waste avenging old girlfriends. Bring her. No.
Is she here?
What are you talking about? What's going on?
Just answer the damn question. Is Sam here?
That last time I saw Sam was at the courthouse after we gave our statements to the federal agent.
You know what? It's been a long couple of days and I'm a little ragged. Just answer my question. After what you and Sam have been... You know what, the hell with it. Maybe I just jumped to...
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Why are you looking for Sam? When was the last time you saw her?
The last time I saw Sam was in her apartment after she gave her statement, but I couldn't stay. Elizabeth just got called in by Agent Rayner. It was the very last minute. I knew how difficult it would be for Elizabeth to talk about what happened at the cabin, the fact that she had to shoot one of those Russian mobsters, and I did not want Elizabeth to have to face that alone. Sam and I, we both agreed to meet back at her apartment for dinner. She wouldn't answer her phone. She hadn't called.
Well, she's done this before, just taken off?
Yes, but she always calls. Somehow she gets word back to me. You know as well as I do that once Sam gets something in her head, like going undercover, there's no getting through to her. I've been able to handle some better than others, but before I left, Sam and I, we had a few words.
Did you have a fight?
Yeah.
About what?
Sam said something about wanting to track down the Russian syndicate, something about going after Sasha Donev.
Okay, so Sam didn't show up, you just assumed that she came over here and we were working together?
Yeah. Now I'm just worried that Sam has gone after Sasha Donev alone.
Sam wanted to go after the Russians on her own. That's what she and Lucky were fighting about. Okay, now, if things went wrong and Sasha caught Sam...
Sokol thinks that there's Samantha went after the villainous one?
Okay, listen, Sasha was always more than Karpov's attorney. She was the center of operations, right? Karpov's dead. Now the Russians are relying on her to take control and restore order.
Why would Fair Samantha go after her without backup? Ah, I'm in. Fair Samantha's last call was at 9:05. To you.
To me. Okay. Best way to find Sam is to find Sasha, and you need to figure that out.
All right, I could perhaps hack into her email accounts, trace her texts, her IMs. Communication with her people in the syndicate might reveal her location and if Fair Samantha was apprehended.
I know, the Russians, the danger, yada yada, this won't take long.
Make it quick.
Yeah, it's a matter of grave importance.
Then don't waste time explaining it to me, just take this. I was shopping for Kate's Christmas decorations and they made me think of you. No big deal, just Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Scrooge.
Spinelli. You okay?
Yeah. The thoughtfulness of Maximista's gift has just rendered me temporarily speechless. Observe. Most excellent ornaments to grace the branches of our Tannenbaum. It will be the most beautiful Christmas tree ever.
Yeah, those are nice.
Just what? God, who would have guessed that Maximista would have been paying attention at all when I was describing the workings of the comic book universe?
Well, that should tell you all you need to know, Spinelli.
You know, you're right. I will no longer fret about John Zacchara's residing in Maximista's proximity.
I'm happy for you. Really, I'm happy for you. And I really need you to focus now.
Sorry. The trace is still running and will soon yield... The Slavic seductress has just made a call on her cell phone. The specific digits are...
Yeah, this is Jason Morgan.
By now you must be looking for Sam. I know where she is.
Where's Sam?
You can't expect me to make this easy for you.
Just let me talk to her for a second.
Well, Sam can't come to the phone right now. And if you don't find her soon, she won't survive at all.
What do you want?
More than I can say in a phone call. Meet me in an hour. Pier 52.
If anything happens, I know who to blame.
Play nice, Mr. Morgan. Right now, I'm your only chance at saving her.
Jekyll can only surmise that the Slavic seductress is holding for Samantha
She
captive.
knows where Sam is. And she said she'll tell me if I meet her on the pier.
Well, I mean, you can't go.
What? Unless you find Sam, what am I supposed to do? What choice do I have?
But then when you're felled by a sniper bullet, what good will you be to Sam or any of us?
Meet on Sam's location. I have to meet with Sasha.
I sense a shift in the force, Master.
What are you talking about?
Well, no doubt fair Samantha is worthy of rescue regardless of the circumstances, and you are not one to sit idly by when the forces of evil do their work. However, I have noticed that many of your rescues are done grudgingly, and that does not seem to be the case with fair Samantha
Sam
anymore.
saved Jake. What do you want me to do?
Sure you'd come.
Where's Sam?
If I hadn't caught Sam following me, spying on me, I'd have no bargaining chip at all. When we were driving Sam out of town, she escaped. Even that should have been a disaster, but I managed to, what's that quaint little thing that you people have? To turn lemons into lemonade. Because you see, Sam ran, Sam fell, and then she got trapped. And that led to you and I having this nice little talk. I couldn't have planned it any better.
Just tell me where she is.
I could have killed her, you know, but I'd rather use her. It's nice how we'll each get out of this in one piece.
Oh, so you want to trade Sam's location for your ticket out of here?